Shalom, man. What up, man? I don't know if y'all can hear me, but if you can hear me, let me know something. Or don't. One up, did two. Eh? Um, all right. All right. So, um, this is gonna be a different type of video. I'll just put it like that. I'm gonna say my piece on some things, and then I'll bring other perspectives into this, um, from other people's channels and stuff. All right. Um, First of all, you know what I'm saying? Those who are in tune to what I do as far as my work, and what I've been doing with my team and my family, um, those who have been watching the journey as long as they have know what's up. I do want to say I really don't know how to say, but I've made an effort to try to reach out to people and support by sharing your stuff, um, along the way. Um, I do um, give acknowledgement and reference to a lot of y'all channels and stuff through my channels as well, and my platforms to people in the streets from Golden to Denver to Aurora to Detroit, so on and so forth. We made a digital library um, to help with this, to help show people kind of some of the footprints and footwork, of people that helped along the journey to get us to where we are in knowledge, in some things, right? I will say this has been a 15-year journey thus far, studying many things from secret societies to our heritage, identity, and birthright as original indigenous natives to the Americas, let's just say all Hindustan and the earth. Because our peoples, copper colored people, brown, demelanated peoples, um, even if you know about melanin greatness, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth, how the 13 tribes of the sons of Israel, or Yasharal, or the descendants, you know what I'm saying, are we've ruled the world, the whole earth, and it's manifesting again. Now that being said, going into my family's testimony, um, to my children, I want to say I I'm sorry I have not always been there for y'all the way that you may have needed me to be, emotional wise, financial wise, you know what I'm saying, and just being present in your presence. With you, um, I have gone through my own troubles and struggles over the years, emotional wise, and dealing with mental health struggles and stresses. I've dealt with suicidal ideations. I have dealt with lack of worthiness. I have dealt with identity crisis. I have dealt with anger and bitterness. I have dealt with, I've had arrogance of my own at times, confusion, being gang stalked, targeted, you know what I'm saying, as an individual, even with some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, um, being in and out of housing, um, over the years, you know what I'm saying. Um, Sometimes some of y'all have experienced it with me, our three oldest ones. Um, I've tried to show you what family should be, how it should look, how it should operate. Um, by teaching as well as I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, from where I've been given the opportunities to, um, by sitting down and hearing and listening to y'all, you know what I'm saying, observing how you play, how you learn, how you grow, your ideas, your imaginative creativity, bro, you know what I'm saying? And I've learned a lot other than just sitting and scolding y'all and correcting y'all on everything because you're children and I'm grown, right? Because that means nothing past a certain point, because even grown people have to learn to do shadow work and shadow children as children of the light in order to tap into their inner child and remember who they are. So, you know what I'm saying? Back into my roots, you know, as the Spit Streets album of just another mixtape in the park, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, I keep healing my roots and you keep revealing my truth, baby. You know what I'm saying? As a man who has lacked financial security for many years in many different ways, but also has flourished with finances using resources, even in the institutions that I fucking hate. Um, but yeah, utilizing the wisdom that the Most High has given to me to identify solutions, right, and utilize those solutions and those resources. The resources became the solutions, and learning how to navigate and prioritize what would be good for my family, and our wealth, health, prosperity, and our growth, right, and healing from trauma and and from a father son, father daughter um, point of view. You know what I'm saying? I've taken y'all out of dangerous environments before because it wasn't safe for you. You know, anybody who really adores you isn't going to talk shit about you. They're not going to talk down on you. You know what I'm saying? This is why I chose to guide y'all in learning affirmations, right? When it came to learning, I see and identify what you were prone to learning or was easier for you to learn, and what was more difficult for you to learn, right? I studied your likes. I studied what piqued your interest, right? And in that, hearing and listening to the Most High Yah and His guidance of what He wanted you to be in and what He wanted you to learn, this made me a target, right? An even bigger target. People have already not liked me all my life, and that's just people's opinions, ideas, and thoughts, which we call philosophy, ideology, and theosophy, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they're entitled to that, but they're not entitled to poison our space, our hearts, our energies, our minds, our creativity, or stunt or halt or delay or suppress or block or destroy or dismantle our growth, right? Because of jealousy, because of greed, this and the third. As a father, as a man, I've done my utmost effort thus far in getting out in the streets, um, learning the minds of many people, from those who are navigating through um, nomading, the unhoused, homeless, so on and so forth, boondocking, different names, right? Navigating, learning how to communicate with gang members, learning how to navigate and communicate with police, learning learning how to communicate and navigate with people in the shelters, um, people in housing, from 820 South Ironton Street to 19800 Whittingham Drive, through Denver, through Golden, through Detroit, West Side, through Aurora, and through Lakewood. You know what I'm saying? Um, Even before then, since before 2022, um, you know, I learned over time that a man who adores his children and his family is going to fight for his family, right? Even if it doesn't make sense to those who don't get it, you know what I'm saying? Especially to those who don't truly fight for their family, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you get the true definition of adoration, or what we call mahaba, or love, and discipline, a disciplined heart of mahaba, right? Love is not it's not a trend. It's not just something that we talk about, just like family or tribing up, you know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people utilize it as, a trend. It's just something that's a phase that they go through. Now, this means everything to me because I didn't grow up with family, okay? So 22 years of not having relatives around and just being around strangers also opened up my eyes to many other things in this journey to learning of who we are as a people and the truth of who we are, who we were, our ancestors were, those right and wicked, and those who are with us now, and what we're going into and going forward to. You know what I'm saying? I have not always called my daughters and sons, you know what I'm saying, is much as I could, as consistent as I could, especially little Y. You know what I'm saying? Um, the other, our oldest three, we've had have had them around since they were born. I was forced to choose to leave with them to take them into a space where they can have a better lifestyle. When I was married, no matter what I did, it was not good enough. You know what I'm saying? If I cleaned the mother's house, you know what I'm saying? If we help take care of their dogs, retrain their dogs after they taught them to fight, you know what I'm saying? Standing up for what is right, standing up for our health, for your health, and what was good for your nutrition, having nutritionists involved, having the police called on us numerous amounts of times. You know what I'm saying? From 2000, what, 12 to 2017, actually 2018. You know what I'm saying? From being targeted by Freemasons for over 13 years. You know what I'm saying? From people trying to divide our families, sleeping in abandoned houses in the cold, you know what I'm saying? Sleeping in abandoned parks and stuff like that. Rain, snow, sleet, shine, so on and so forth. I always found a way to come to where you were to find out what was going on, even if nobody else knew about it. From watching from the windows, watching from the backyard, day and night, cold, hot, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I always searched for you. I always looked for you. I always tried to find a way to make sure that you would be all right. From cash assistance to food stamps to Section 8. You know what I'm saying? When I left that stuff go, because I never had a mindset to stay on welfare. That's not my vision. That's not my dream. That's not how I'm built. That's not what I'm designed to do. That's not my vision. That's not my purpose. That's not my destiny. It served its purpose when it served its purpose for however long it served its purpose. You see what I'm saying? And when it was time for me to let it go, I sought the Most High's wisdom on it, and that's what I chose to do from there, because we had the resources and the tools to get well more than enough food and clothing and hygiene products and blankets and so on and so forth of what we needed wherever we were. And the Most High Yah always presented that to us. We have options, you know what I'm saying? And those options were our solutions to the so-called problems, or problems that we would take upon ourselves or choose to take upon ourselves as grown people, right? And then most so-called grown people, hold on, would deliberately sit there and fight and argue and bicker and find ways to place blame on each other, and instead of taking full accountability and responsibility for their lack of knowledge, or dignity, integrity, and or work. You know what I'm saying? People have called me lazy. They said I was a no shit, you know what I'm saying, no good ass nigga. When my pops, David Sean Clark, you know what I'm saying, one day, the last encounter I had with him in 2020, this man was drunk, standing this close to my face and telling me I ain't shit, telling me you ain't shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But in my journey of following the Most High Yahweh, from coming out of Christianity and going through that whole phase of names and so on and so forth, that transition, you know what I'm saying, from my little small encounter with Islam for a point of time, you know what I'm saying, I got tired of the confusion. I got tired of the he said, she said. I got tired of following everything that everybody else wanted me to do, trying to fit the mold of what everybody else wanted me to be, and following after their opinions and their advice when they oftentimes didn't even follow their own. You know what I'm saying? They wanted a standard for me and try to hold me to a standard they couldn't even keep themselves held to. You know what I'm saying? They were delusional. That's an illusion. You know what I'm saying? It's an illusion and delusional thinking to have somebody else or seek or desire somebody else to follow what you want them to do, but you don't even follow yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't take accountability and acknowledge your shit when you wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that for years. At times, I've taken on other people's guilt, other people's pain, other people's shame, and I felt so ashamed of myself. I felt like I was nothing. I felt like I was nobody. It was a point in time in my life I didn't know what the fuck I even was. You know what I'm saying? from dealing with suicidal ideations for over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Um, Talking about mental health, and when people can only push a pill on you, something that, these people don't study big pharmacia, they don't study the etymologies, ebonics, they don't study and learn languages and phonetics, they don't study and learn the essence of characteristics and mindsets of institutionalized programming propaganda. They don't study, they don't learn to do different with the mindset like, yo, my babies need something different and I need it too, other than those who do. You know what I'm saying? And that's not very many. It's many, but it's not as many as it should be. Long story short. You know what I'm saying? And I got tired of taking accountability for my wrongs and other women's wrongs. You know what I'm saying? Other men's wrongs. And then when I fly off the handle and I say how I truly feel about what they've done to me and my family, and they don't know the work that we've done. You know what I'm saying? We try to present it, they don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? Their problems is more important. And I've always sat and I've listened to others people's problems and troubles and situations and testimonies, and I haven't ran off the handle and told everybody everything about everybody and gossiped and ran my mouth about everybody's secrets. I held a lot of people's secrets in for years, and I sat there and I thought and observed and processed it. Then I had to learn to think and process and observe my own thoughts, my own emotions, to see what's the difference was, what was mine and what was somebody else's junk that they put off and projected off on me, because that was their standard. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't be in somebody's house if you don't have such amount of money. You know what I'm saying? But when you're sleeping on somebody's couch or somebody's floor, or they don't even want you sleeping on the floor or carpet, but they put you on a concrete basement as children, that bothered me. You know what I'm saying? They sit there and they say that they love you, but they'll call CPS on you, which is kidnapping. They don't know where the foster care system came from. They don't know where the adoption care agency came from. They don't even know about the World Affairs connection. They don't know about the Child Welfare Act. They don't know about child labor acts. They don't know nothing about Maritime Admiralty jurisdiction. They don't know nothing about the Treaty of Fort Wayne, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. They don't know about the U.S.-Morocco relations. They don't know nothing about the Tignon laws. They don't know how to identify and connect these with these coded books of the Quran and the Bible, in the relations to Psalm 83. They put you on trial. They put the Most High's words on trial and stuff like that, just like I was doing at one point in time, because I was angry at a lot of them because of their ignorance and their arrogance and their foolishness and their pride. You know what I'm saying? How dare you take that off on us? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I showed my gratitude by working. You know what I'm saying? I showed my gratitude by paying y'all some money. I showed my gratitude by cleaning up your houses, because if I didn't have money, I had to have something to compensate, and I always earn my keep. You know what I'm saying? I showed my gratitude by bringing food in the house, and I brought hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of food in some people's houses. You know what I'm saying? From being in the shelters and stuff like that, when people came out my family room, you know what I'm saying? We got kicked out of two different shelters. One, you know what I'm saying, because the staff getting in tune with some of the people who live there, and then shit going crazy and people being treated wrong, and correcting that mindset where it's like, you work here to help the people. If you're not helping the people, why are you working here? To the point where we got kicked out for fighting, you know what I'm saying? And then got brought back in, and talking to head management, and then after we got out of there, got into our housing and stuff like that, over some year later, everything changed. All the management changed. Everyone who once worked there, except for one person, that to a point in time, everyone else left after I told them that was going to happen. Because you don't help people just to get something in return all the time. Yes, you should reciprocate. Yes, you should compensate. Yes, you should do something to earn your keep. You know what I'm saying? But when all you have is all you have, you should be mindful to monetize what you have. You know what I'm saying? People talk about money, but they're so arrogant, ignorant, and really stupid when it comes to money and acknowledging liabilities versus asset, right? Or energetic exchanges, right? They'll manipulate or be narcissistic, um, and shift blame on this, but you know what I'm saying? It takes two to tango in every type of situation. People don't just argue for fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's some fucking 5G tower shit, neural weapon shit connected to that shit. And I've showed videos on that. You know what I'm saying? As I observe my platforms and stuff like that, my family has been my greatest supporter. That's been my 5 children and my wife, and myself, among a few of those who became family. RL, Sabes, their children, you know what I'm saying, and a few other people. Um, They don't know nothing about Darvon when he was helping us out, and him and his wife during the time when I was going through a divorce and I had lost our house. You know what I'm saying? We was infested with bed bugs, mice, and roaches. We was going through an eviction. You know what I'm saying? I had to quit my job. They were going in and out of daycare and babysitting from Darvon's ex baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Um, and they don't know nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? When a man's pleading for at the time his woman to come back, you know what I'm saying, come back home with her family, and she's out there messing around with other men and other women while she's married because you're trying to say you don't want to be married no more. You know what I'm saying? I was loyal to a lot of people who were completely disrespectful and just disregarded my existence. You know what I'm saying? And my children's. And they always want to throw family in the picture. That's not what family does. If that's what you were taught growing up, that's why you encounter me, to learn to do something different, because it's wrong. Getting to the point where you become addicted to trauma and you adapt to traumatic circumstances because you think that's all that there is. There's an example all around us in life, from TV to books to people to going out to things that you entertain you, so on and so forth, conversations. Yeah, everybody ain't had it right. Everybody ain't had it good. I didn't grow up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But from growing up, even in the suburbs, and making the worst case of history of child abuse in 1996 in the state of Colorado, severe malnutrition, dehydration, and pneumonia, and then being tested on for 14 years with over 5,000 milligrams of psychotropic medications, where the state of Colorado 5 times denied me and 2 times in Detroit, saying my mentality was not that of a mental disability. You see what I'm saying? And I could have lost my life just with that alone. I already had a death experience in 1996. You see what I'm saying? Many near death experiences, being raped. You know what I'm saying? What do you do? What you know about being locked in a dungeon? You know what I'm saying? That's what I see when it comes to people, when it comes to their mind. You might not be physically locked up if as you think physically is. I don't see spiritual and what you say physical as two different things. They're one and the same reality that I experience. You know what I'm saying? A dream is reality to me when it's not opposing, but in accord, in agreement with my destiny, with the Most High Yah. I'm different. You know what I'm saying? It's not fun. Um, it's not fun out arguing with people who do this shit because it's funny. You know what I'm saying? I've been around people who do that. You know what I'm saying? They laugh at this shit, they snicker on it, and then they play the victim role like they're the ones who's done wrong and trying to find everything that they can within your conversations. Listen really closely to see, try to catch you up in something so they could use that as ammo against you. You know what I'm saying? Trauma is a motherfucker. Trauma will do a lot. It'll fuck up your mind and your memory and all kind of stuff. And there's been at times where I said some stuff where later I had to sit there and think. You know what I'm saying? If I lie, I'm gonna tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? I will let you know that I actually lied with those words. You know what I'm saying? That's why I practice not lying. But if I legit don't remember something, and then somebody just sits there and accuse me of lying and this, that, and the third because I said something before, as I'm going through a really deep and a traumatic healing space from being in that traumatic experience, you know what I'm saying, maybe you should study trauma, true, actual, real psychology, actual, real, true mental health. Maybe you should get out away from those narcissistic, aporia, um, psychologically unstable environments and people for a few years. Go MIA. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should study people who's been in that stuff, who help people get out of that stuff, who study these industries, who seen there was something wrong with how they were producing what they were producing and giving out as information and trying to teach people and diagnose people. You know what I'm saying? By actually being unprogrammed from a mindset of a system of institutions that is literally there to destroy your families, especially as brown skinned melanated peoples. You know what I'm saying? The system is built to destroy you. They don't want you to have a mother and a father in the house. That's why you have welfare. I don't want to stay on welfare. I don't want to stay in a poverty state of mind. I don't want to accept that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to agree with that. I don't want to acknowledge that as reality in life. I don't want to sit there and, if you can't beat them, join them. That's bullshit to me. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. That's an excuse to stay comfortable and complacent in the wrong things, in the wrong environments, with the wrong people in the wrong places at the wrong time consistently. You know what I'm saying? And feeling like oh you're doing something, or I gotta prove myself to somebody, or you know what I'm saying? Like even within my music, like I'll speak my real experiences. I'm not gonna speak sitting there. about, you know what I'm saying, fucking bitches and I got a lot of money, this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not my reality, bro. And that's not what I want. I don't want to fuck bitches. I don't wanna be around whores. I don't want to be around people, women who aren't stable in their own mind. They don't have a vision. They don't have a goal. They're not in love with the most high Yahweh, Ku, Baruch, Hunab, you know what I'm saying? Not this Zeus and all this other bullshit, this indoctrinations and learned behaviors and traumatic experiences. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that for my children. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for my wife. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that from our children to coming forth. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want my children having birth certificates once I learned that they were banking receipts and connected to the Dawes Rose Commission and Doctrine of Discovery and all the other things that I mentioned among many other things I've mentioned in videos and so on and so forth and learned. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want my children thinking and learning and growing up, oh, they're black and they came from Africa and they're descendants of slaves. Nigga, when we're all royalty, all my tribes are royalty. All my tribes go into the 13 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? The seeds of Israel. You know what I'm saying? All my tribes have pharaohs in them. You know what I'm saying? Of both male and female. Like all of them, all of my tribes are priests. You know what I'm saying? Builders, record keepers, people of government, you know what I'm saying? The actual real government, it still exists to this day, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't study these peoples. You wouldn't know that if you didn't study these languages. You wouldn't know that if you didn't study these governments through the filter of the Most High Yah's Ruach, teaching you and guiding you and coming to you and telling you who you are. You see, the problem is when everybody try to tell me who I am, but you're not the Most High. You didn't make me. You didn't build me. You didn't create me. It's gonna cause problems. It's gonna cause friction because I'm not looking at through your worldview. I'm slicing that shit down. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to tell me who I am. You don't get to tell me what I can have. You don't get to make that choice for me. You see what I'm saying? You didn't create me. You didn't give me my children. You know what I'm saying? Well, I prayed about my children growing up. I'm the one who prayed for their healing. I'm the one that asked the Most High Yah to teach me in the way that they should go. I'm the one that asked the Most High Yah, are these books real? You know what I'm saying? I'm the one who asked the Most High Yah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you want me to do? Like put these pieces together while I'm praying and while I'm fasting and studying all these different languages, studying lexicons and dictionaries and encyclopedias, you know what I'm saying, and concordances and stuff like that. You're not studying these systems. You know, I know you don't study these systems because of the shit that y'all say to me. You know what I'm saying? Like some of y'all only been in foster care for a few days. I was in foster care for years. I was in residential treatment centers for years. I was in psych wards for years. What you know about being in the motherfucking box room with a metal bed strapped to that motherfucker, and they got a magnetic metal door that they lock, and while you strapped to the bed, like what the fuck I'm gonna do, bro? How I'm gonna get up? I'm strapped to the bed and try to get out the door. And you like, you know, like prison doors and with the little, yeah, like that, the little windows and stuff like that, the little prison windows on the door. Yeah, what you know about that? You know what I'm saying? Because people feel like you're mentally unstable. People think that you're crazy because you talk about demons and spirits and shit. And then all of a sudden, years later, all spirituality, people talk about this. They in churches, they talk about deliverance groups. And I'm not crazy. You're fools. You can't be honest with yourself. You can't look at yourself in the mirror and truly be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to my mom and dad for advice anymore because it wasn't healthy for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. And yeah, I renounced them because you're not gonna treat me like a dog after I was already treated like I was nothing and weaponize my children opposed to me to control me, you know what I'm saying, or put me in check. You trust in your masters, you trust in the people who are pedophiles. Do you study these councils and so-called governments? They're all pedophiles, bro. They're all murderers. They're all thieves and kidnappers. You will succumb to that. You accepted that as reality. That's just life. No, that's not just life. Life has done me well. That's the Most High Yah. It's people within my life that have encountered experience that I let in at times that fucked me over. Not all of them, but they fucked me over because they were fucked up and they thought me as an opportunity because they thought I was naive to take advantage of that opportunity to do something that they wanted to do. And they all always said the same thing. You got to believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're powerful. This, that, and the third. I think you can do it. And then if you don't learn to love yourself, then no one else will respect you while you was fucking my wife as pastors. You see what I'm saying? Like, how is it intelligent? How is that wisdom? How is that God? You know what I'm saying? Sitting there wanting to stay around people who think like that. Then when I made my comments to people saying about their life, nigga, because you threatened our life. You know how many times we done had death threats, nigga? Try over 100. You ever had an AK pointed to your face? You ever had a shotgun pointed to your face? You ever been lifted up by your balls off the ground by police officers? You ever rapped about the Most High Yah while you was in cuffs in the back of the police cruiser? When you get out the police cruiser and you get to the precinct and stuff like that, they whole demeanor change. Yeah. How many times the police come for you and how many police normally come? Do they have 2, 3 squad cars, 4 squad cars? You ever had 13 police surrounded by one person? Come on, man. You ever had the police drive you to one of your siblings' house after somebody lied on you and try to set you up? You ever had the police come to the house where you had health physician for your children in the car, and your mom talking on the phone with the lady's your ex-wife, if you will. I don't even like saying that shit because it's just not me, I'm not everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And her auntie on the porch and they talking on the phone, your mom on speaker, and the police officer, brown skin, melanated like a motherfucker, sitting there, shut up, shut up. You know what I'm saying? We see where the problem really coming from. And I'm in the car, not even 30 yards away from the house. She don't even look at me one time. And they sitting there, but he's supposed to be on pills. He's supposed to be on pills. Bitches in the court case that literally in Detroit, where they said, his mentality is not that of a mental disability. You wanted to control me because you was money hungry, because you was a control freak, you narcissistic. You wanted what was mine off of my pain. You wanted to benefit off of that because you had debt. The same debt that's supposed to this so-called quasi-incorporation is supposed to be paying. That's their debt. And you wanted to control me so you get the checks. And we put a stop to it. That was the Most High Yah, among other things, and other ones, righteous ones. Thank you, Yah, and Dalu Yah. You know what I'm saying? And my own mindset that started realizing that, like, nah, you ain't about to do that. You ain't about to do that. I wonder if my mom would have ever called me in 2000, what was it, 2006, 2007, some shit like that. If she would have known, if I would have never was gonna get SSI. They denied me in 2 states, bro. They owed me $2.5 million. Did you know what you know about paying taxes and stuff like that, and you don't get any of your tax money back, but they send you a letter talking about you owe. They say you don't owe anything, and all of a sudden you get a letter that you owe $208 to some facility you never even heard of before, and then you pay tax for a couple of years, and they owe you $37,000. I didn't get any of them stimulus checks that people got, bro. You know what I'm saying? My life was partly fucked up because of people in YBI, Young Boys Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? You don't know about it, go do your research on it. You know what I'm saying? They've been hunting y'all motherfuckers down. Last people I found was in 2017. You know what I'm saying? That they hunted down. You know what I'm saying? What that got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? Why I got to pay the penalty for that? Because y'all motherfuckers is fucked up. My mom was a cartel daughter, but she never gonna sit there and tell these motherfuckers CPS and police and foster care people and all this other shit about the shit that her people did and what she was involved with. Fuck out of here. She lost custody of me at 2 years old because her boyfriend hit me in the eye and both my eyes with a pistol at 2 years old. Yeah, imagine that. You know what I'm saying? What you know about being in a coma for 30 a whole month? You know what I'm saying? You can't walk for 11 days afterwards, nigga. What you know about crawling from a hospital bed and crawling up to sit on a toilet to go to the bathroom and then doing the same thing to get back in your bed? What you know about being in a bathtub or a whirlpool in the hospitals for bathing and stuff like that, and you can't even sit upright. You falling under the motherfuckers. You fall under, and then all you feel is somebody pull you out from under the water. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Stop playing with me. Why don't you go study the names of your psychotropic medications, Abilify, Prozac, Depakote, you know what I'm saying? Clonidine, benzodiazepine, mirtazapine, albuterol, AFAH, you know what I'm saying? You don't study biochemistry. You don't study genetics. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't. You don't study anatomy. You don't study biology. You don't study those things because if you knew what these inhalers were and them being steroids and what steroids do to the body over time, especially something like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know anything about the endocannabinoid system. You know what I'm saying? You don't know true phlebotomy. You don't know true CNA work. You don't know true shamanism. You know what I'm saying? So stop fucking playing with me. Who are you to try to correct me? You don't study these things over and over and over for years, repeatedly with everything new thing that you learn over and over and over. You don't study the CIA. You don't study the FBI. You don't study private militaries. You don't study private militias. You don't study um things on that exist like let's say I think it's Steve Jackson, the Illuminati card game, and wondering how this shit fits in puzzles. Whereas like this shit was talked about years ago and who these people are involved with these shit, and you going into studying all these different peoples and all these different systems and stuff like that and their so-called governments, how they treat their people. You're not a revolutionary activist. Y'all play. You pretend to be. Just like these pretendians out here and everything that people call them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I call y'all COVID ones. You know what I'm saying? Dumb knockers, dummy knockers, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because who are you to sit there and chastise somebody else or try to assassinate somebody else's character? You're so quick to call them a pedophile or call them this and that because somebody else said something, but you won't even listen to their children. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you some real shit. When they set me up in Golden in 2025, yeah, 25, right? I had one of my journals that dealt with me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? And that was something between me and her. Now, this CPS lady who took my children to the hospital went through my children's bags, which were also my bags. You see what I'm saying? You have to have a warrant for search and seizure in order to go through somebody's stuff. You talking about you investigate. You don't just get to freely, go through people's stuff. It don't work like that. I had a video where my oldest son exposed this lady. You see what I'm saying? Exposed this lady for going into our stuff and messing with our stuff when he told her not to. You know what I'm saying? And then she talking about why is it his journal? Is it his journal? You know what I'm saying? Bitch, it doesn't matter what it is. It's not your property, and you didn't go. He didn't follow no right or lawful procedures in order to do that. You know what I'm saying? Even when talking to the police, like a lot of y'all don't even know how to talk to the police, right? And they public servants. They work for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not the other way around. You don't see how the police is connected to Great Britain and even some fashion after some of our government and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And what they was created for. You don't know what gun violence is about and why they created gun laws for you. Not for when it came to the chiefs and the priests and the people of the Americas and so on and so forth, and, to stand up and fight for their rights and their lands and their people opposed to oppressive systems and colonization. You know what I'm saying? About from Germany to Britain to the Moors. You know what I'm saying? To uh, England. Um, you have Europe. The Nigeria was involved in with that. Ghana was involved in that. Check out um, the Berlin Conference. Long story short, you know what I'm saying. The same model that they use for the seven nations, that's for the scramble for Africa, which they flip flopped through Pan Africanism and the Black Boule. You don't study the Black Boule. You don't study these Freemasons and Illuminati and their roots and where they came from. See, that's why I was targeted because I know I know what's really going on. I know where it really came from before Adam Weishaupt in 1776. You don't know about the wars that was the Chickamauga Wars of 1776. You don't know about all the wars and Holocaust that were going on in 76. You don't know about the Namibian genocide that ended in 2010. So stop fucking playing with me. A lot of y'all can't even read and write your own native tongues and languages, bro. You can't read, write, or speak it. You see what I'm saying? But you're so quick to assume, and then off that assumption and emotional disposition, according to your trauma perceptions, you know what I'm saying, and drama and gossip, then y'all gonna make a judgment call off of that. You know what I'm saying? And you persecute people who you don't even, nigga, you couldn't sit in my shoes if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? What you know about being outside till your hands fucking hurt, nigga, in the cold, and then you have to sleep in that shit too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find ways to do your mixed martial arts and stuff to warm up your body. You know what I'm saying? Until you condition yourself towards like it hurts for a while. You know what I'm saying, over a couple years, and then you come out there and then you keep doing it until it goes away. And then you get used to it. You condition yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's a new conditioning. You know what I'm saying? What you know about true activism, bro? You know what I'm saying? What you know about going actively and fighting against human trafficking, picking up, going into a lift with one of your people in your community who you working with to go pick up a friend who's 15 years old in a dope house, ain't got no business being there on a guy who's known for human trafficking and fucking around with little people. You see what I'm saying? What you know about that? Going in there in a weight vest and a pistol and going from there. You know what I'm saying? And getting her out successfully with no casualties. What you know about setting up block watches in your neighborhood, dude, with the point where other people from other neighborhoods coming over seeing what you doing, and y'all sitting there chilling 2, 3, 4 o'clock a.m. sitting there 5, 13 people, 7, 8 people, you know what I'm saying, in a circle, just politicking, chilling, studying with your neighbors, you know what I'm saying, all this different stuff. What you know about going to work doing this? They texting you, calling you. You know what I'm saying? We sitting there sending texts back and forth. We studying and stuff. When you ain't supposed to have your phone on at work and shit. And I'm building up college. You working successfully getting this shit done while you doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? How many entrepreneurship classes have you sat in? You know what I'm saying? How many seminars you sat in face to face? You know what I'm saying? How many entrepreneurship places and business deals have you sat in where you seeing people do blueprints of architecture of different stuff? You know what I'm saying? How many musicians have you met? You know what I'm saying? Who been in old bands and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? How many how many people are you done deliverance on? You know what I'm saying? In ministry. And then the motherfuckers looking at you like, nigga, what is you doing? Because the person that you doing deliverance on is throwing up more than everybody else that's been there doing that shit for a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Stop fucking playing with me. What you know about going up and cleaning blight in your neighborhood and getting certificates on that shit just because it needs to be done. Not looking for money. You do it because it needs to get done because you want to see change, nigga. You want to what you know about stop littering because you want your neighborhood and you want your waters to be clean, even if everybody else don't do it. Just you don't feel like picking up other people's shit. That ain't my responsibility. But nigga, I'm a protector of this realm and the Talatawani in this realm. That says the Most High Yah who is submitted to Him and surrendered to Him. You see what I'm saying? It's my responsibility. That's accountability. But if you don't do that, shut the fuck up. Who are you to be talking about shit? Then people sit there, oh, you think you better than me? No. But I'm not gonna stay stuck. I'm not gonna keep being in that same cycle of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. What they always say, you want something bad enough, you go get it, right? You want some weed bad enough, you gonna walk 2 miles in the cold to go get it. You gonna call up anybody or if you gotta go to the next door neighbor, you gonna go all over your house to find the pennies and everything that you can to make sure that you can get a bag, a dime bag or a nickel bag, you know what I'm saying, or something. Come on, stop playing with me. You're gonna go to the weed man and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Let me get this song credit, this, that, and the third. Next time I get it, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. When the last time you been threatened by a weed man who sit there, you go up to the dope house, next time I see you, where my $5? Next time I see you don't got my $5, we're gonna fall out. And you return back with another $5. The $5 you came back with is the one you spending. And the dude that you gave the $5 to was sitting inside with 4 other dudes and the dude that just threatened your life. You know what I'm saying? And you asked the dude that you gave the $5 to, like, yo, where that $5 I gave to you? You said this dude was your cousin. You know what I'm saying? And you bought your bag and you still left out. Next thing you know, that same dude you called out come to your house. Where you at? And your older brother sit there and turn him away, long story short. Then you go to the stove, come back from the stove, which is always some fucking juice in the goddamn hood. Where you hood, you know what I'm saying? And you come out, you walk down the block, and he pull up, and your heart drop like shit. He get out, and you remember one of your little brothers saying, when you see somebody do that, they hop out, they about to pull up on you. You know what I'm saying? So I had a Cherry Oak staff at that time. And I don't know why the logic never didn't stick in this guy's mind or mine because I didn't even think about sticking. I didn't think about hitting him with it or nothing. That wasn't even in my mind. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of being a peaceful person, but also having some discipline. Also, that's clearly the Most High all the way. You know what I'm saying? He get out, man, you like, bro, you ain't gotta even do it. It's not even worth it. He's shaking his head, mad, swing on you and miss by this fucking much. And when you step back, it's like the Most High collided you. You know what I'm saying? And then he get mad, go back to the car, and the same thing your brother saying, bring in your mind, I dip off to the side. Whoop! You can't see me, I dip off to the left. I ran so fucking fast, I tripped. And if you ever seen Boys in the Hood, when that dude ran and tripped to the point where he fell, he was one of these niggas on the sidewalk and then picked his foot up, kept going, kept running. I was laughing because that whole visual of that scene, I literally lived that. Run as fast as I can down the block, and then I go in between these two houses. One old dude sitting on the house, sitting on the house porch with the newspaper, looking at me while I jet in between the house, go through the alley. By the time I got to that old dude's house, dude was just barely pulling up on the block. I was already through the alley, cut through the other yard, cut into the house, run up the stairs, cracking my ass up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've been followed with dudes with guns and shit like that, going in the gas station over on Davidson, come out, you know what I'm saying? And these dudes gonna sit there and follow me. Nigga, what? You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to have lights and gas at times not on, and water, and then going through all that process to try to get your water back on, your lights and gas back on, trying to pay your rent so you don't get evicted, and going through all these different services, 611, 211, trying to find out who can help you, you know what I'm saying, pay your bills and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what it's like. And then with somebody, you sitting there and pay your bills and you actually on time with it, and then somebody try to act like you not paying your bills, and then they go through a whole thing where it's like you end up winning that case because it's like, nigga, you fucked up. And then people telling you gotta get out right away. You got a whole another month to 3 months after the eviction notice, depending on the state and where you at, you know what I'm saying, to still stay in there legally. And I had to learn that shit. What you know about working with journeymen and foremen, doing custom paint designs in motherfucking church rec centers and shit like that, and outside on churches, on walls and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And inside on churches and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I did one on Livernois. I did one in 8575 Joy Road, Greater Faithful Deliverance Church, and there was the other one. I forget the name of that church, but I did that one on inside, and it was like pretty much presenting the loaf, the table, and the loaf of bread, the two loaves, 5 fish and 2 loaves, scripture thing. You know what I'm saying? And you know what you know about taking your children to the Black Lives Matter rally, even though it was some bullshit. You do the study behind that shit to see what it's actually about, and then expose that so you can help people so they're not being deceived and manipulated and shit. What you know about actually motherfucking Freemasons who trying to get right, it seemed like, and you trying to help guide them into the ways of the Most High. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What you know about getting together with people from New York to California, Christopher from California, Elena and Elena's cousin from New York. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Josh and you got Ariel, who I met in Lakewood, and Ariel went to UK after she met Barjan online while she was still in Lakewood. Then she went to the UK, and then he was part of the Yellow Jacket movement where they was overthrowing the Ukrainian government and shit like that with their activism. You know what I'm saying? These are people I've been involved with, people from the shelters. And you got Braden, you know what I'm saying, his mom. Then you got Aiden and his mom. I got a video on one of my YouTube channels with Aiden and stuff like that. I used to bring little bro to my house, just like other little bros and families that we had in our house and stuff like that. Where it's like get them out the shelter for a minute, you know what I'm saying, back in the house and get their mind back in the right space and give them a break, you know what I'm saying, give them a rest from that shit. We're gonna cook some food, we're gonna do some fun, we're gonna listen to some music, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna chill, play some games and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I utilize that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it kicked me in the ass because I got infested with bed bug skin. That happened again on 820 South Ironton Street. You know what I'm saying? I had let a whole family in there. You have 3 women. You know what I'm saying? You have mother, older daughter. Well, not 3 women. Mother, older daughter, and her youngest daughter. You know what I'm saying? Then you had another family where it was the man, his woman, and their 2 children. You see what I'm saying? And these niggas pretty much trying to take over your shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was times and stuff like that. You know, as I was going over the years, I wasn't the cleanest. My children wasn't the cleanest, but look at all children. You know what I'm saying? I was still growing up into the mindset that I needed to be and learning who I was and how shit's supposed to work in the hood and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But I successfully had my own place, you know what I'm saying, a few different times. You know what I'm saying? The second time we got kicked out of the shelter was on uh, the Catholic Charities over here in Denver on 23rd and Champa. You know what I'm saying? I fought a 32-degree Freemason. This nigga didn't know I knew what I knew about these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Until it was too late. And this nigga gang stalking me and my family and two other women with their children who's on the spectrum. Long story short, got autism. That's what they call the spectrum here in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? And he giving them gifts and shit like that, giving my daughter gifts and shit like that. And they kept complaining like he's being creepy and following them around and this, that, and the third, and acting weird. And then one day I'm sitting there having a conversation with him. He's licking Oreos and talking and whatever, and I catch him doing a humping motion towards my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And Jeremiah, my son. And long story short, I peeped. And then one day we went to the stove, or we was walking around. He was sitting out in broad daylight. And then one night we went to the 7-Eleven, and he popped up out of nowhere. Hey, Vision, Vince, seeing you here. No, I get it. Don't be paranoid and this, that, and the third, because people love to throw that shit out there. Oh, you're just paranoid. You just think everybody out to get you. Bitch, you don't know shit until you going through that shit. And a lot of times when y'all motherfuckers have been set up, and motherfuckers, y'all domestic violence ass boyfriends and shit that y'all had, old people and younger people, shut the fuck up. You done went through this shit. You sound dumb as hell thinking I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? See how much you actually learn from your experiences. Next to nothing. I gotta talk to you like you little children. But anyway, and then you got these self-entitled parents who feel like they're just entitled to be respected because they're your parent. No, you're not. When you act like a parent, then you can be respected as one. Any parent that holds their children from that holds their children from their children, you're not a parent. You're a monster. You're just as guilty. And then when I speak about the judgments of the Most High, you talking about he ain't gonna do nothing. No, Nick, he gonna hold you accountable because I can show you many, 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 many scriptures where he says that thou shalt not kidnap. Everything that you're supporting as your system, foster care and CPS, is dealing with human trafficking and kidnapping. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I got dates, times, receipts, locations, people involved, all that shit. So you don't want to fuck with me on a mental note because you're not ever gonna win that. And a lot of y'all should have known that. All the shit that y'all it went through and encountered by fucking over us, that was judgment of the Most High Yah. And I keep telling y'all every time what's gonna happen, and it keep manifesting. Y'all keep thinking I'm crazy. I know you fear me. I know you're intimidated by me. You're gonna act like you're not. You're gonna talk like you're not because that's your tough role. But behind your tough role, you're a little scared child holding on to a teddy bear, asking and screaming out for somebody to help in some dark room. You know what I'm saying? In your mind, screaming out for help. But the help that when help comes because it doesn't sound right to you or logical to you, it requires you to actually do something different with your mind and everything that you have to change. You don't really want to do that. You halfway do it. Then you'll get in front of everybody to talk like you know made this big change and spiritual change. And but when you really tested with it, and something happens with somebody's family members, and you're tested to help them, and you really don't do it, it shows the truth and the fruit, a proof of who you really truly still not, and what you pretend and give a show a facade to be. You're fake. You're phony. You're a liar. You're a deceitful practicer. You practice deceit and guile, and the Most High Yah hates that, and He has promised to destroy people like that. He has promised that people like that won't come into his rest. You see what I'm saying? So somebody who sit there, how many times have you sat there and prayed away the spirit of death off your mama and off your relatives, filling that motherfucker, and you asking the Most High Yah to let it escape you? Please correct their hearts. And say, have mercy on them. This, that, and the third. You get to know about your relatives and why they act like this from people who had the most problems with y'all. Why y'all hate them so much, and they start telling your family secrets and shit like that. See, that's what I had to go to do. That's what I had to go to the lengths to do. I have a cousin, you know what I'm saying? She's a Freemason. I had to learn some shit about some stuff when she was around when she was like 5 or something like that, 5 or 10 when I was 2. She was around. She's seen certain stuff, experienced certain stuff that I didn't. You start seeing why these family members is all this, that, and the third towards each other, all hateful, acting fake and phony towards each other, this, that, and the third, money hungry, greedy. And part of that was that cartel mindset, you know what I'm saying, that they never got out of. And when they started doing certain stuff, they just do it because they said they have something to say about it. Long story short, to say they did something, but they didn't do it with a real intention of their heart, or they really most times didn't come together unless somebody was dying. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want my children to learn shit like that. I didn't want every child's party to turn into a grown-up fucking drunk fest and some kind of random ass stud fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my daughter growing up thinking it's okay to be gay, thinking it's okay to be a stud, because we don't promote that. That's not the ways of the Most High Yah. That's sodomy, and it's against nature. It's against His law. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't promote healthy families and health and everlasting life and continuousness of life. It promotes confusion and arrogance. And then this victim mentality where it's like, oh, I hate men. A lot of y'all hate men because you've been around a lot of same people who don't like all the things I've been describing of the mentalities. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of y'all really don't know how to treat yourself. So how can you treat a man a certain way? Same thing with men when it comes to women. But when you do know how to reciprocate and give and give and give and give and give, you have to learn how to do that from a healthy mindset and set righteous boundaries. And that's what I did opposed to my relatives. I set righteous boundaries. When I say no, it means no. That means don't cross it. And then when people brought you back into that, and all the people could only use my past, well, because of your past, my past had nothing to do with me other than me having to go through it. And I had to do all the work. No one ever talked about all my accomplishments, all my certificates, all the growth that I did, how it took me 2 extra years to graduate from high school when I should have graduated in 2008. I graduated in 2010. By the time it was supposed to be for me to graduate in 2010, you know what I'm saying? I made the choice to go in early every day, that when I made the choice to actually do it, to stay in during lunch, you know what I'm saying, to stay in during block schedules and stuff like that, and to stay late to catch up on my credits, because I had to catch up on 23 credits. And they told me that they thought it was impossible. Well, you can graduate next year. When I said no, I want to do it, they're like, "Are you sure?" They doubted me. Then the same day when I got my diploma and I graduated in 2010, the same motherfucking student counselor sit there and looked at me shocked. Like I couldn't believe he did it. Because when I set my mind to do something that I really want to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to overdo it. I'm going to overextend myself. I'm going to go above and beyond, because that's always who I've been. People ain't been around me for years wouldn't even guess that, because they haven't seen that. They wasn't there to experience that the entire time. But you think you know somebody so much after 11 years. You don't know shit. Most of the time I'm being at MIA because I'm teaching my children something different. One good thing I learned from not being around relatives was how families can actually come together and grow. Even if they have problems with each other, I've seen them hide it very well by coming together and finding ways to come together and have good time together while they're together, and they're not sitting there fighting and arguing and shit all the time. Even when they had divorces with each other, they came together and they still considered them family. You see what I'm saying? And I have not been the greatest example of that either, because I told a lot of my relatives that they're not my family. You really hurt me. You hurt my children. You don't know how many times I had to heal my children from trauma, the work that I had to go through, the work that they had to go through and endure. You know what I'm saying? Building them up in their self-esteem when they feel like they don't look like this, or they're not good enough for this. You know what I'm saying? This is why I position myself to learn from them versus always scolding them and feeling like I'm right about everything just because I'm a fucking parent. I'm 37 years old and I'm still learning how to be a husband and a father. You know what I'm saying? And and even in that a son. You know what I'm saying? When my relatives they didn't treat me like, I never had that, so I gave up on it. I in my mind, I accepted the reality that I would never have that, and I'm okay with that. That's why I turned to the Most High Yah. You know what I'm saying? And you haven't turned to the Most High Yah in the ways that I have. You don't know what I've had to. I've been about being in the field screaming day and night. Where you know what I'm saying? You don't know if somebody's gonna wake up or whatever, but you don't give a fuck because you crying out for help. Like, why is this like this? I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to think like this. Motherfuckers know this shit and they don't give a fuck. Oh, I know I don't. You don't want our children growing up in foster care or going out without mom and a dad, but you go out there and fuck 14 different people, including a female, while we was married. Not to mention the ones before we was married, and all them people that was in Detroit that you fuck with. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that they came back to me and said certain stuff to me, calling your phone when you left your phone with me. Who is this? Da, 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 da. Is Whitney there? No. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about that. Oh, I think you used to think that you was a nerd and you was weird and this, that, and the third. Oh, but after you fucked the woman that I was supposed to be the mother of my children and my wife at the time, I was cool then, huh? Letting her come over there. She had used babysitting and work as an excuse to go fuck around with somebody else. You don't know about what I had to cure myself from when I had STDs from this woman, because she kept giving me STDs. You see what I'm saying? While everybody else trying to dog me out. We lived in a house with people, her brother and um her two of her aunties. Her first auntie, she used to fake her seizures and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to get attention. And they didn't know when she would actually have a real one, so they always came and blah, 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 blah. She had HIV/AIDS. Then her other auntie fucking around, you know what I'm saying? Fucking around with people. She got HIV. And then her brother fucking around being a homosexual, sodomite, gay nigga. He ended up with HIV. I've lived with other people who live with who had HIV. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how to live around that without getting that? You know what I'm saying? How to clean and do this and do that without getting that, and without your children getting exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? So get the fuck up out of here, bro. I try to make an effort to live a vegetarian to vegan lifestyle, and then y'all sitting there talking about they're not getting proper health. Well, it's not getting proper health because you don't study nutrition. You don't study what proteins are. You don't study nothing about omega 3s, 6 9s, fatty acids. You don't study what where you can get the protein from oils, from coconut oil, from olive oil, and so on and so forth, from beans and grains and yams and avocados, um, and from nuts and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? There's certain plants that you can draw proteins from too. And you get vitamin K, you get vitamin C, you get vitamin D, you get copper, you get manganese, magnesium, things for energy, things to help with your melatonin and serotonin, secretions for your rest and your body's nurturing for its rest, and your hormone and emotional balances, because your hormone imbalance messes with your emotional imbalance, which messes with your rest. You know what I'm saying? You smoke weed, but you don't know shit about the endocannabinoid system, flavonoids, cannabinoids, CBD, CB1, CB2 receptors. You don't know nothing about microdosing and stuff like that, and the difference between psychoactives with the THC and in the CBD. You don't know nothing about the hemp plant and different species of the hemp plant and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You can't even give me a list of doctors other than Yaki Awakening. You know what I'm saying? No offense to him. I love bro. And Dr. Sabi, you know what I'm saying? I studied Dr. Sabi. I studied Rick Simmons. I studied many things of Yaki Awakening. I studied Dr. Rachel Knox and her family. You know what I'm saying? I studied other people who had HIV and dealing with cannabis and the different studies behind that shit. I studied neurologists, people who left industries, who worked there for 20, 40 some odd years and got out of it because they shown that nobody was really getting healing, and they had situations with their body themselves and they had to go on their own healing journey. You don't know nothing about healing yourself from a 7-slip disc and a herniated disc in your spine, doing aqua therapy or hydrotherapy, among physical therapy, yogic therapy, and many other therapies that we've had to do with, including plant-based and um, homeopathic remedies and therapies and stuff like that, and then going into shamanism and learning more about that, and then healing your babies. You know what I'm saying? Healing your babies from from eczema and shit like that, and getting rid of that off of plant-based diets and shit like that, going on fasts and stuff like that for months, trying to get your body right, deworming and detoxifying. You don't know nothing about saponification and creating tinctures and oils and shit and doing all kinds of research on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut the fuck up talking to me. And you mad and you hateful towards me, and you got the nerve to do that shit and complain about me. You want to ask me for money. You know what I'm saying? But when I ask and I reach out to a lot of people, especially relatives, like, yo, buy our books, buy some of the stuff that we've been working on, because we recognize people need to get healed. I got a sister in the UK right now. Her father just died, you know what I'm saying, from cancer not too long ago. And being one of them people was like, damn, well, if you had access to certain things in that country, you know what I'm saying, I would have been able to heal y'all, to aid in that, because Yah does the greater, deeper healing that we don't know how to do on our own. All we gotta do is make an effort to go through the process and do that work. You know what I'm saying? And it hurts because it's like she's been going through that and dealing with her eyesight. But part of that neurology too is people don't study COVID. They don't know nothing about neurowave, microwave, EMF, elf wave frequencies and shit like that. They don't study the military industrial complex. They don't study HARP. They don't study DARPA. They don't go into CIA classified documentations. The ones that y'all see nowadays, I've been reading for years, bro. I've gone into some shit that I've watched them take entire websites off the internet, and I've studied that shit. I've had books, nigga, books of studies, books and books and books, laying out books all over my tables, all over my floor, all over my couches while I'm studying, putting shit up on the wall, studying like some movie shit for real. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't pretend to be somebody in my songs. A lot of people don't like what I do. I don't give a fuck. It's not for your entertainment. It's for informational and purposes. It's for, like, nigga, if you're really interested in stuff like this is what it's for, to help you if you're really about that life. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about encouraging a meth head who always making excuses for this, that, and the third to get back into their training. and their physical fitness from being learning. He had learned boxing and this, that, and the third. You don't know nothing about coming out here sparring with people from Detroit and in Colorado and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To learning mixed martial arts and stuff like that. You don't know nothing about patrolling your block, sitting out there in your neighborhood, and you got over 500 people in your neighborhood, young and old. You know what I'm saying? Gets to the point nobody's sitting there talking to each other at first. Then all of a sudden, everybody start talking to each other after this one day to change everybody's life. And I'm sitting there, my little bro come on at 15 years old, walk past me, like, give it a frame. I'm like, yo, next time you see me, don't walk past me like I don't exist. I live here, nigga, and so do you. I got tired of all these people in these neighborhoods. Y'all been here for 15 years, don't even know your next door neighbor's name. Bougie and this, that, and I get minding your own business. That's where a lot of people would do right by minding their own fucking business. Sticking your nose in everybody else's shit is what's got you fucked up. Gossiping about everybody else's shit is what's got you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So when people like, oh, we'll tell your snow bit, you ain't gonna tell my story. I'm going to tell my family story because my babies don't say so much. You know what I'm saying? They do speak because I teach them to speak. That's part of them standing up for themselves, and I teach them how to fight. Because I don't want people continue talking about my baby stinker or your father's this. My babies tell me what other people and their children say about me. They tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Like they sit there and say that they're doing good. You know what I'm saying? They're fine. They love it where they are. But I can hear it every time we get off a phone call on a visit. You know what I'm saying? Which people play with that time on my visits too, for a party. Nigga, fuck that party, bro. This is our family. You doing it to try to punish me because I called you out on your shit. Because I won't apologize for what I said to you in truth. Because I won't bow down to what you want me to be and obey your rules. When I asked my mama one day, I told her, you expect me to just renounce the people who became family to me, who were real friends, and they earned that right to be family for y'all because your family is your friends? That's you, not me. I'm not you. I'm me. You can never be me, not even if you tried. You'll have to die multiple times and go through near-death experiences on top of everything else we've been through. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't make it. You're not mentally prepared for that, let alone physically. Look at your health. Shut up. Right. So, anyways, in the midst of that, you know what I'm saying? Where they get off the call, before they get off the call, you can hear the sorrow in their voice. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta sit there and tell your children, like, don't say certain stuff about them or around them, because I don't want them to feel like you crazy too. I sit there and I'm an artist. And they demonize it. Looks demonic. Bitch, shut up. You don't draw, nigga. You the same ones as you said that you smell blood when somebody dies, or you used to see stuff in the dark when you was little. Oh, you don't want to tell nobody about those secret conversations though, huh? You don't want to tell nobody about how many times you ain't pay your rent and you left it out on us. If I didn't give you my food stamp card, then I gotta go. Right, shut up. Ask you for $15 for what? I need a new shirt. You got a problem giving me that, nigga? Back in 2012. 72 East Savannah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? From Wadsworth to 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying? To Seabolt. You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking playing with me, bro. Living with brothers and sisters for the most part. My oldest sister, you know what I'm saying, helped me out a lot. It was her whole ass boyfriend in the past that was more the reason why she was like, yeah, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? But my oldest sister, she helped me out the most. You know what I'm saying? I've had less troubles from her. My other sisters and brothers, you know what I'm saying? When I told them, like, y'all wouldn't stand up for my babies, you know what I'm saying? You stand up for your own babies. When it come to mine, though, y'all call yourselves aunties and uncles and shit like that. But you wouldn't stand up against your own so-called aunties and uncles and ma and dad and all that stuff on behalf of them. Y'all niggas y'all niggas get money to go to a whole nother state and visit and then come back to brag about it. I'm the only one of the brothers and sisters who didn't know about it, other than, you know what I'm saying, probably one other one, but he really didn't have too much contact with him anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the nigga that y'all always boasting to, and I'm always left out. Yo, next one you do, you know what I'm saying, invite me in. And you're like, all right, but you did it with question. You never invited me to shit like that. I might have come to your house a couple times for some parties, this, that, and the third, invite over time, probably because you got tired of me complaining about it not being welcomed in or included as family. Then I let y'all over at my house, you know what I'm saying, come over, this, that, and the third, but I had rules. Don't drink. Don't drink all over my house, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Don't be bringing a bunch of hoes and shit over to my house and stuff. Cause I got babies, I got standards, nigga. This is the law of my house. You know what I'm saying? And I speak about the Most High. Invite you into my studio. You come in there bullshit, don't even do nothing for real, but you always want me to come to your studio. And then all the music that I make and stuff with y'all, you know what I'm saying? I don't get to see that shit for years. I ask for, and then I start asking for copy to my stuff that same night. I gotta mix and master. I don't want to hear that shit because y'all mix this shit while you're doing it. I know about music engineering. I do this shit. I produce my own stuff, my own beats. You know what I'm saying? I mix and mastered over 50 some odd of my own mixtapes, including my albums. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that shit. That's just an excuse, bro. I stopped making excuses for myself. I had a contract with TV33, you know what I'm saying, in between 2016, going to 2015 to 2016. It was supposed to be a year's contract. It was on the paid contract. Wasn't getting paid shit. But they kept asking us for our material, this and the third. And I see you as on stage painting as rapper slash poet. Bitch, I see me as me, not who you want me to be. And from already, you didn't know I was already studying the music industry and the shit behind that, the real truth of the 360 deals and the real what they really expect, all the rituals and satanic ritual abuse that they do and shit like that. Nigga, stop fucking playing with me, bro. I grew up in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Satanic ritual abuse from a Spanish man who was deeper melanated than I was, and a fiery redhead white woman, and some other people. But you know about a grown ass man picking you up by your throat and pinning you to a wall, angry as fuck because you don't want to do it what he wants you to do. What you know about being taken out to the barn to get your ass whooped, nigga? Shut up. In the middle of the country. What you know about walking out in the middle of the country barefooted, getting goat heads on your feet and shit in the nighttime? Fuck out of here, bro. You don't know nothing about going and walking and sitting, laying on hay bales, looking over the field, just watching the sprinklers going off while you a child, bro. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about sleeping in the motherfucking mountains by yourself on a mountain. You don't know nothing about waking up the motherfucking rattlesnakes at your next to your tent and shit like that, and other snakes and shit. You don't know nothing about having to condition your environment so the rats and coyotes ain't eating your food or trying to get into your shit and studying off grid shit like that. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about walking 2 miles out, 3 miles out in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. in the dark, nigga, with no flashlight, you know what I'm saying? By yourself, just going out there, taking walks and shit like that in the mountains, nigga. Where there's just literally this week was reported somebody was a family, a man and a woman was being followed by a motherfucking mountain lion. What you know about coming 25 feet away from a brown bear cub? You know what I'm saying? Not the little baby bear. I'm talking about, yeah, you're a nice size. You almost adolescent. What you know about getting about 30 feet away from a motherfucking ram, nigga? And in the process of looking at the wildness of that, you almost step on a bull snake. Not even 2 feet away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you don't know nothing about that, bro. What you know about tracking animals and shit like that? What you know about watching your environment where you see law enforcement and how they move and what they do and what they don't do, and watching motherfucking military exercises manifesting before your face for a year and a half, nigga. Right in front of your face, but they don't know that you're watching them like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you say something. Real good. What you know about getting your ass in a cold ass creek and going swimming, nigga? A cold ass river, nigga. Right. Even the lakes in Detroit. What you know about go swimming in the lakes, nigga? I swam in Belle Isle while there was snakes moving around me and shit. You know what I'm saying? What you know about building fires and stuff like that in the woods, nigga? Camping in the woods for a week. You know what I'm saying? Burning Man session. What you know about going to Ren Fair, nigga? You know what I'm saying? I don't hear none of that shit. And it's funny because the people like, oh, it sounds like you're being judged by the Most High. Nigga, I went to Elitch's last year. I went to Rain Fair. I went to Burning Man, Switch Fest, Rudy Hua. I went to they call Lost Network. They've been together since the 90s, or about 19 years. Or they going on 20 years now. You know what I'm saying? Old band. You know what I'm saying? Doing music with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck out of here, boy. You know what I'm saying? What you know about creating, about franchising your own stuff, creating your own a brand of industry and stuff like that, dealing with production and music and shit like that. What you know about creating your own comic book universes and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop fucking playing. What you know about building a school, bro? What you know about being a peer educator and learning how to write IEPs and stuff like that? What you know about being learning CNA? What you know about learning military combat medic training and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? What you know about shit hits the fan type situations. You know what I'm saying? What you know about how to urban combat skills and go on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? How many programs you written? How many people's businesses have you helped build? You know what I'm saying? From REL and Sage to J7, you know what I'm saying? To Russian Blue, to all five of your children and your wife. You know what I'm saying? And yourself. So me and my wife is one, but y'all would count it as two different people. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Technically to y'all it'd be 12 and going of people, you know what I'm saying, sitting there helping them build their mission statements and vision statements and stuff like that. I don't want to hear shit y'all motherfuckers got to talk about it past a certain point. Because all the bullshit that y'all say about me, if I don't tell this part or my children don't tell this part, ain't nobody gonna know shit. You know what I'm saying? But this is where I come from. Step in my neck of the woods, nigga. For real. I don't care how old you are. I stopped making excuses for myself. Oh, we used to have a band, or we used to have. I don't want to hear that shit. I talk about we used to a certain extent. I'm still out here. I still make an effort to come from the city to come out here, nigga, day and night to do my training. All my platforms is my proof, nigga. When the last time you built a digital library for your school and for your people to help guide your people in a way that's not destruction? You know what I'm saying? Because my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and let alone how to use that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that shit. How many books have you wrote and published? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that shit. Out of all the people I've ever known thus far that do music, I've done way more mixtapes and albums than they have combined. Combined. There was only two people who because I said one, I didn't mention the other one before, but there was two people who helped my first two mixtapes, and then before then it was Cody Luckett and Kristen Christopher who was helping on some of my videos and stuff like that, and Cody was helping me with some of my mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And then we have bro, oh man, I forgot him and his wife and his two girls too. So I've had five other people. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even remember all the mixtapes that I did with him. And that's when we lived in Dearborn. And those relatives who've been to my house when that first time when I was married at Dearborn, you know what I'm saying? He was my next door neighbor. And he was going through shit. So while we was going through shit, we tried to find ways to integrate and come together and transmute that energy into creativity. You know what I'm saying? I ain't begging people for money and shit like that, but guess what? I did all that without no fucking LLC. No excuses. You know what I'm saying? Get out here and help integrate and be in the field with the people who are homeless and shit like that. Being able to feed people. Nigga, fuck out of here with your excuses, bro. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I could teach you some shit for real. I ain't even talk to tip though. This ain't even the tip of the iceberg. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why y'all can't trap me the way that you want to. It's a reason why you can't shut me up the way that you want to. It's a reason why you can't destroy, kill, and steal from me the way that you want to. It's a reason why y'all failed every time y'all came against me and my children. Every time somebody lied and set me up and accused me of this, and it always came back to bite y'all. Y'all always end up losing out, and I always kept getting my children back. And this ain't no different. It's a reason for that. What you know about walking around for a month, this, that, and the third, looking for jobs and people lying to you to your face, talking about they ain't hiring, and you hearing it from other people in the community who've been here for years, nigga. Talk about how their own community stuck up. You get there and they talking about the KKK and this, that, and the third. They don't take kindly to brown skinned people, nigga. That's where it started here, where we got set up, nigga. So stop playing with me. What you know about being set up by Jews, nigga? Did you know that the caseworker was a Jew? Did you know that the CPS lady probably was a Jew? I don't even know what the fuck she was, but she was fucking nasty and a demon. Did you know that the attorney was a Jew? They didn't want to hear none of my witnesses. Did you know that the CPS lady lied on the motherfucking on the motherfucking police report? And it all boiled down to they was talking about let's act like none of that other stuff was said. It's about the school thing. But you don't want to go back to Detroit when we was in the motherfucking shelter where my children were in daycare and they were in the shelter, nigga. You don't want to talk about that though, huh? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to talk about nothing about that, huh? None about that. Nothing. You don't want to talk about none of that though, huh? You don't know nothing about no cots, do you? You don't know nothing about that, bro. You don't know nothing about the stuff that was going on in there. Shout out Miss Marco. What's up, weirdo? You know what I'm saying? Among other people, nigga. That's where my children were going to school at for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And the surrounding schools that was near there. You know what I'm saying? And this me the whole time they sitting there talking about your children never been to a public school. Yes, they have, bitch. They was in daycare in Colorado for a minute too. I took them out because I seen a motherfucker snatching Jeremiah up by his arm when I was left. And for some reason I kept wondering why I kept screaming and crying all crazy when I leave and stuff and coming back towards the door like yo, I don't go. And then when J7 told me to pay attention to that because you know what I'm saying, she was watching and observing over time people in daycares complaints of how the children are being abused. Nigga, I caught that shit firsthand. I took my children out of it. I took my children out of the other schools when they were sitting there, children sitting there bullying them. Then when they all put them in these public schools again with the German re-education camps. You know what I'm saying? And my oldest son get hit in the face with a stick. Like, are you niggas? You niggas is retarded, bro. I mean, pay. Y'all niggas is really retarded. Really retarded. You know what I'm saying? That shit is retarded. This shit is retarded, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ever got your children involved in farming programs in Detroit for $25? Nah, I'm pretty sure you ain't. Pretty sure you ain't. You know what I'm saying? At all. Real shit, bro. Wait, how many people and how many stores, you know what I'm saying, know of you and your children? You know what I'm saying? How many of them, bro? How many of them? You visit them so often, they know about you and your children, they be hooking you. Come on, bro, stop playing with me. How many schools in Detroit have you went to and talk about human trafficking and somebody seen this stuff and ain't nobody been saying nothing? How many flyers you done passed out? I passed out over 180 some odd flyers in Detroit alone. On top of I don't know how many business cards. I done sat there and I challenged all the minds. Shut up. I done challenged all the minds of the families and stuff like that in Detroit. Come spar with me. Nobody want to do it except for three. I got to spar with three people and did good because I trained in my basement for 2 years, nigga. On top of the trainings that we were doing outside while we was in the shelter. When we came to Colorado, while we was in we started our mixed martial arts journey in 2018, bro. We made no excuse while we outside, moving around, while we in the shelter, you know what I'm saying, while we transitioning. We doing it, bro, every day, every night. And then you try to take that from my children or keep my children from doing that. So which one is it really in the best interest of the child? Who's hurting the child more, me or you? Because all you have is what somebody else said versus what is actually going. I told people, ask my children. And I know my children ain't telling me anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't done anything wrong. And they're sitting there asking me and asking relatives, well, why they take my dad? Why they do this to my dad? They still want to know why. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Yeah, you don't know nothing about the Detroit Urban Garden Program, resource program. Getting your children involved in agriculture in some type of way, or teaching them how to build their gardens inside your house, nigga. Homegrown gardens. You ain't teaching your children aquaponics. You know what I'm saying? You ain't teaching your children psionics, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking playing with me, bro. Among other things, you ain't teaching them their real history. These fucking Freemasons and hear from them. Stop playing with me, bro. I've been teaching them since they was born. Nigga, while they was in the womb, I was speaking to them. Each one of them. Each one of them I handed up to the Most High. I asked God, you teach me how to guide them and raise them up, y'all. Did you do that? Did you do that? How many people's homes have you gone to and anointed and prayed over? How many people invited you to their houses to pray over their house and over their neighbors' houses who was witches and shit like that? Stop fucking playing with me, dog. Real shit. My sis put me in her book, bro, which fucking blew my mind. Check out Ariel's book, The Grief That Doesn't Count. Rachel Peterson on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Real shit, bro. Keep growing Detroit. That's what it was. And I still got some of the old emails and some of my old email addresses too. Really who? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing for these children? You know what I'm saying? When the last time I didn't set my children up for the social media until this year because I knew of the dangers of online privacy acts. You know what I'm saying? Of weirdos online, and I've been watching people doing scouting and stuff like that, and weirdos for years, nigga. I do cyber security intelligence, my dude. I have 12 years worth of diverse levels of security training. Stop fucking playing with me. And I'm not talking about just learning shit. I'm talking about learning, reading, applying, practicing, nigga, day and night, nigga, in multiple cities, in 2 different states thus far. You know what I'm saying? Multiple cities, bro. Denver, Aurora, Lakewood. We went to Littleton for a little while, and then we got Golden. Then we got Detroit on the west side. You know what I'm saying? So stop fucking playing with me, bro. How many organizations have you got with to clean up the blight in Detroit? Quicken Loans and mowing lawns and shit from the west and the east side, and then going into going into the motherfucking alleyways and cleaning up that blight and shit. How many churches have you worked with to do the same shit? And then getting involved with black parties that's helping do the same stuff. How many churches you done went through, and how many Freemasonic halls, temples have you went into talking about the Most High Yahweh, nigga? Because Jesus ain't that, nigga. That's an abomination. It's a Jesuit order society of Jesus. It's trash. Beneath our feet, nigga. Beneath our feet, who was Baruch and greater. You don't do that shit, bro. Most of y'all, and I know you don't do that shit. You know you don't do that shit. I'm not coming on here to rag on people. I'm coming on here telling my testimony because I'm beyond tired. And motherfuckers don't listen to motherfuckers who out here crying out for help. I've seen people on Instagram, on Facebook, and I've reached out to them, but I get some reasons on why they don't reach out because they're so tired of motherfuckers being fake, bro, and being posers. When I ask somebody, what is your definition of spirituality? What I'm talking about is my definition of spirituality, nigga, as reality. Ritualistically as a reality, nigga. I teach my children what's real, what's true, not what people want to condense and dumb it down and make it seem like, no, nigga, it's raw and uncut, nigga. Because you see me cry from going through shit raw and uncut, dealing with women especially and relatives. And I teach my children, anybody who keep your family from you, watch that. I didn't have a problem with my children being around relatives. It was the elders that I had a problem with them being around because the elders are fucked up. And those who followed after their elders through so much trauma and cycles and shit like that and adapted to it, and they're still asking them for guidance, they're fucked up. And I didn't want my children around that thinking that was okay or thinking that was right. That's not healthy. That's a mental instability. That is the definition of psychosis, schizophrenia, double-mindedness. That is the definition of that. Delusional thinkers. They're dead while they live and dead in their thinking. That's not right. Why would your child, I watch all my cousins and different ones who do this and do that, Even, brothers and sisters talking about, I'm saying, their mama don't care about them because they really displayed that. You gotta argue, you gotta yell at them, you gotta cuss at them to get them to partially hear something, and they want to dog you out. Oh, you disrespectful. No, you disrespectful to your children, so you got disrespected. You earned that. You deserve that. You just foolish enough to think that that you're supposed to be respected at all costs. You're entitled to that no matter what. When you told me that day, and I said you want me to renounce my friends who became my family and submit to you and obey you and worship you, do whatever you want me to do. And this lady told me yes. I laughed in her face and told her, you crazy, nigga. I helped carry one of your cousins when the ambulance was fucking up on how they didn't even bring the gurney in, carrying her through your house on Seaboard out to the ambulance. Did you tell anybody about that? Nah. When your sister's daughter had a baby and they was about to take her baby because y'all was talking shit about me, something was going on. You ain't stop to think that was a judgment of the Most High coming against y'all, because He told me years ago, I'll fight against those who fight against you and be an adversary to your adversaries. Deaths in your families and sicknesses in your bodies, on that shit y'all be going through. That's exactly what that is. When one of my cousins' sons got shot up, as a result of y'all coming together, gossiping and talking about shit that you ain't supposed to do and shit that y'all was overdue for, karma. You know what I'm saying? And then this recent one of my uncles dies, and another auntie or cousin, whoever dies. There's about 4 people who died, and now my mom's same sister in the hospital going through shit. Shut the fuck up, bro. I speak about Most Hayah because out of love, out of adoration, out of really genuinely wanting different for y'all and better for y'all, but you gotta want it for yourself, for real, for real. You gotta stop coming against your people. That's your problem. And then when they hold you accountable, y'all wanna sit there and gaslight. You know what I'm saying? And target them and try to assassinate their character and pull other people into it. Y'all biggest thing is going to the police. You're fucking dumb. I'll never throw my children on the bus. You're a liar. You ain't been nothing but that to me. And you've proved that through your works. Your words mean shit. Nothing. And I told you this. So stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people and they so-called mamas and daddies out there who are really not fucking healthy, bro. They're not healthy. They're not fucking healthy. They're not healthy, bro. And y'all think that you are. You think that you are. And you have this lame ass excuse. Well, that's just tough love. That's not love at all, bro. You're being an asshole. You're being a bully, and bullies always get bullied by a greater bully or somebody who ain't a bully will put you in your place. I'm not a bully. That's why y'all get tight sphincters when I'm around, because y'all know what's up. I'm not afraid to step on your toes, because if you fight me, I'm gonna fight back. No weapons, nigga, other than my mind and what I've been taught. You're intimidated by me because I show you the real truth of that reflection of that mirror, and you can't stand it because I shine, nigga. You can't stand it. You don't like my glow. I ain't asked you, nigga. You think the Most High came to like, oh, yo, since I made him like this, is it okay? You need me to tweak it something like you so he can submit, do what you want? He ain't asked you none of that shit, nigga. I'm not asking you for no $100, $10. When's the last time I called any of y'all for some money, bro? When I've been through some heavy shit, some real troubles, when the last time I called you? Think on that. Think on that. And if I sit there and be like, oh, my mama took advantage of me on 72 East Savannah, this and the third, nobody would sit there and think like, damn, she was always getting mad at him because he was sleeping in different rooms or sleeping in this. She wanted him to sleep either next to her on the couch or in the same room, this and the third. He couldn't go to these activities, to the fucking 4th of July. He couldn't leave the porch. And y'all wonder yourselves why I couldn't go. And her excuse was he was on pills. Nigga, fuck out of here, bro. When I was on pills in Colorado, nigga, I was spending the night at my friends' houses in foster care, nigga. They was breaking the rules for us to be able to live as real children, nigga. They didn't want us being just called foster kids and treated like we was disrespect or like we wasn't worth nothing. And they corrected their own blood children who's grown and their own nieces and nephews and all that. They corrected them about us, bro. They corrected them about us. They took us on fishing trips. They took us to Lakeside. They took us to Elitch's. We went to Peachtree City, Georgia, where they bought a whole nother house. We went on summer vacations, my dude, from Aurora back and forth, nigga. We went on cross country road trips, fishing trips to Kansas and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Out to Alabama and stuff like that. Nigga, stop playing. We went to Water World. We went to the oceans. Nigga, stop fucking playing with me, bro. That's what happened with our allowance money. You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking playing with me. They went out their way on a lot of times and it frustrated the shit out of my grandma. You know what I'm saying? That she always liked to go all out, put all the decorations and all that shit and stuff like that. And it hurt her. She used to tell us like she hurt, she can't, she tired. We used to go to respite care because she was overwhelmed, this, that, and the third. And my dumb ass on certain things. You know what I'm saying? But I realize now, like, even though all that shit was wicked anyway, them holidays and shit, it's both the most high. I see what she was trying to do. She got into her own husband about it at times. Like, why you talk to them like that? Why you responding like that? They're just asking a question. Why you just talk like that? You get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? She used to get buddy passes because she worked at Frontier Airline. You know what I'm saying? I'll take you on this one. I'll take you. She kept trying to get me on the airplane. I was like, nah, I'm good, right? I'm good. I was scared of heights at that time. You know what I'm saying? But now I see what she was really trying to do. We ended up having Xboxes, Nintendo 64s, Sega, Wii's. We had the GameCube. We had PS3, PS4. You know what I'm saying? What else did we have? The Atari motherfucking thing. Super Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Game Boys, Game Boy Color. You know what I'm saying? We always go buying games from the game store. Like, bro, I was working in my teens. I did landscaping. I go work in people's houses and do landscaping and move shit. It was to the point where they would tell the other foster kids, "Yo, go with him. Go do some work with him. Why don't you go do?" He always going out hustling, doing his money. Nigga, I'm known for being a hustler, so shut the fuck up. Sometimes it's like entrepreneurship. You got dry periods and you got really rainy periods. You know what I'm saying? Where stuff really flowing in. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of entrepreneurship too. You know, but when people legit don't want to see you prosper, they're legit not going to invest in you. You know what I'm saying? It's real life. And I'm known for learning how to be a solutionist, to integrate and move around shit like that. I'm not ever going to just say stagnant or stuck or paralyzed. It's not going to happen. If a witch can't stop me, a demon not gonna stop me, nigga. A demon not gonna stop me, a witch ain't gonna stop me, nor a warlock, nigga. I'm not gonna stop you, you damn sure not gonna stop me. They said they're in this court case, this, that, and the third, and trying to name me all kind of shit that was never even happening, bro. Never even happened. And I'm sitting here trying to prove my case and trying to plead my cause. Like, yo, somebody listen to me. Y'all listen to me. Why are you letting these motherfuckers do this shit to me? You say you love me. You know what I'm saying? You say I'm not cursed. You say I'm not being punished. You know what I'm saying? And all this other stuff. Why you letting these motherfuckers do this? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that my children get to know of their cousins and stuff like that. I wanted them to have that anyway. It was y'all older motherfuckers with your fucked up mindsets. I don't want them around drinking and shit all the fucking time. I don't do that shit around my children, nigga. Who are you to sit there and put a standard over me and my house, nigga? This ain't your children, nigga. You fucked up as a parent, nigga. I choose not to keep fucking up as a parent, nigga. Ain't no pay. So who are you to tell me that I'm wrong, nigga? You don't do half, not even close to half the shit that I do. And sit there every day in your own mind, observing your own thoughts, your own mentality and behavior. Dang, how I can turn about this, how I can go about this. Damn, I know I was hurt, but I got to go back and apologize to these people, even though what I felt was real. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can let that pain go, so I can let that bitterness go, because I ain't about to let that shit eat me up like it ate y'all motherfuckers up. I'd be damned. I'm not about to turn into anything like y'all motherfuckers or anything worse, nigga. What you know about the Illuminati sending you motherfucking invitations, nigga? I sent text posts about this shit. This shit is real life. I ain't faking shit. I'm not joining that shit neither, because they're the reason why everybody is going through what they're going through when they turn their back on the Most High. Y'all, fuck y'all niggas, nigga. Burn the fuck out y'all dumbass. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not wrong. What my problem was, I listened to motherfuckers who truly are wrong and who crazy as hell. And then I try at times to put my life in ways that please them and to fit in with them. And I hurt my family, hurt my babies That's why I had to heal them from trauma, because uh, those wrong people I let in. I had to let them motherfuckers out, and I had to deal with the pain too. You're not gonna guilt trip me on where you fucked up, and I'm not taking accountability where you fucked up no more. By living the different lifestyles where I took accountability and responsibility as a man, and my children are witness to that. I built businesses for my children, and y'all have tried to keep them from it. That's why I'm not giving out money to motherfuckers when they ask me to give out money, nigga. You hold my child against me, or the child decides when I get to talk this, that, and the third. You a fool, bro. Don't ask me for shit. Be thankful I'm still reaching out, trying to call my child, because I'm sitting there. I told you I gave up at first because you were in the way. If I didn't admit to all this shit that you wanted me to admit to, and you punished me because I chose my wife over you, nigga, why are you mad? You the same one sitting there talking about, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a problem living alone, this, that, and the third. And if you had a husband, you'd rather live by yourself anyway. Shut the fuck up. Why are you complaining then? You won't listen to the shit that you say. You having super intelligent, long, deep conversations, and then y'all act retarded as hell like we don't remember having those conversations. Only you do that. Only you do that at, right? That's where they do that at. Where you at? That's why we wasn't around. Because our presence is a gift. And everybody ain't worthy of our presence. Everybody ain't worthy of our energy and our time. Or being in our space. Your body's fucked up. My body and my children's body's not fucked up. I don't give my children shots. I don't give them over-the-counter medications. I do the work. I know what actually works and what don't work. From experience, nigga. And encounters for years worth of it. All them years of taking shit, I wean myself off that shit. They told me I didn't need that shit anyway. You're not gonna keep testing on me and fucking labeling me and all this other shit and then not give me no recompense. So I went to the Most High Yah. You telling me the Most High Yah is wrong? Because I chose to be obedient. He said, teach them their heritage. You won't treat me like I'm wrong. So you fighting against him by fighting against us. And then you want to say, if you even know God, no, you're stupid. You don't know God. Because if you continue to fight against his prophets, he'll kill you. Fight not, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. Thou shalt not murder, right? Thou shalt not kidnap. You threatened this with me. That's why I apologize too. And I gave it to Yah. That's between Yah and me. You were wrong. So you deserve what you got. Scared you didn't. You deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Then what else is it? Thou shalt not covet my house or anything that's of my house. Don't take what's mine from me. Don't be jealous of what's mine, right? Set me up, this, that, and the third, and keeping what's mine from me. You're being punished. You will be punished. And you're going to watch us be risen in victory or not, and there ain't shit you can do about it because you're wrong and you're out of order. I seek the Most High. I'm in covenant with the Most High. You're not. Oh, I'm a prophet. Even though I'm going off. You ain't a prophet because you say, because you have dreams. You a prophet because you walk in the Most High Yah's ways, his way, his standard, not according to how you feel. I ain't out fucking around with other women. I'm not doing it. What you know about being kept from your wife damn near 3 years, nigga, and your other child, Henry Peg is. You know what I'm saying? Along with being kept from your other youngest daughter, and then motherfuckers targeting you and your oldest children, and then people ask, "Where's your wife at?" Nigga, go ask God. It's not your business, for one. We got targeted by the Illuminati. A lot of shit happened. At least they're in a safe space that I know where they're at. Mind your business. Then you got to do all this stuff to make sure that your children are able to see they're doing this and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to try to patch shit up when motherfuckers hate you. I'm always the one doing the hard work, nigga. Y'all always the ones waiting for an apology. I don't owe you an apology for nothing. Submit to the Most High Yahweh, bro. Surrender to him for real, for real. I'm not teaching you all lies. I kept you in the dark because you didn't want light. So my light was taken away from you. You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do right. All your conversations with y'all crying about your baby mamas and crying about your mama and daddy doing this to you and brothers and sisters and complaints and shit. I heard all that shit, bro. I didn't go telling them everything that you was telling them about him. Y'all sitting there talking about, oh, he said that they pulled a gun out on him. I didn't say that shit. Y'all lied about that shit. Matter of fact, it was the other way around. That's how I went. That's why I went to jail because my mom set me up and I was carrying conceal at that point. So put it in right perspective, bro. And then sitting there yet again boasting around. He's crazy. Something's wrong with him. He's mentally ill. Bitch, you dumb. They don't want to tell him that you stole my Bible with all my notes in it. Why are you trying to pretend to know some shit, trying to quote the way I was quoting? Nigga, like I don't know I don't know what's my shit, nigga. I'm the one who lived in my mind for years, nigga, without talking to people for over 20 some odd years, nigga. And did the studies. You don't think I remember that shit? Look out of here, bro. I was the same one. Y'all sitting there having conversations. Might be up to a month situation when shit blow up. And I'm telling you, every single conversation, every argument, how what you said and why I responded, how I responded, this, that, and the third. Trying to catch me up in them word mind games and shit. That shit stopped because you couldn't beat me at that no more. Then you try a new tactic. That shit don't work no more neither. Neither does this, bro. We'll never go through this again. You owe my children an apology and the truth, but some of y'all will never do it. And you know it too. Whitney didn't do it. Tell me I hate him. He just left. He ran off. I'm a grown ass man. How I'm running off? Nigga, I was living around y'all for 3 years after 2020. I knew a lot of y'all were. I was keeping tabs on y'all. Y'all had no idea about it. I'm just now telling you about it. I was around a lot of people, bro. I was watching a lot of shit and hearing a lot of shit for years, nigga. They didn't want to talk about when it was on the phone and Whitney, her boyfriend, have a problem with her calling us and checking this, that, and the third, and then her going with the bullshit with CPS with the children that she had. You know what I'm saying? And then how that communication got cut, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? She don't want to talk about that. They was talking to the so-called auntie over there and so on and so forth too, in conversations that we was having back in 2022, nigga. In 2022. So stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. You don't want to talk about shit like that, though. The only reason why I didn't want you to come visit him because you was trying to set me up too. I would have let you come visit him, but you was going to try to bring your brothers in it. You was going to try to start some problems because that's all that you people have always done. And I'm not stupid enough to continue to go into that same trap. And I found out that you was working with my mom to begin with to get me set up that first time. That's why I went to jail. Talking to her on Facebook and shit. Oh yeah, you try to keep it secret, but the shit still came out, nigga. I still found out. Just like Shanae told me when we went back in 2020 about her and JD sleeping together when we was married. And we lived in the same house. I used to go on walks and fucking all this, then third, or when we wasn't around at the house. And y'all thought y'all was slick. And then watching all that shit manifest the problems going on, this, that, and the third there. You could never really go through the hardships I've gone through with me and my family, bro. Never. You don't know nothing about dope dealers going together and getting blankets and pillows and stuff for you and places for you to your family to sleep when you ain't had nowhere to go at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? Going in the parking garage and they watching over you all night long, not hurting you, nothing. You waking up, you know what I'm saying, your reflex, and they like, it's cool, we're still here. You know what I'm saying? Nothing gonna happen. They stop in wholesales to make sure you take care of it because the dude sat there and thought about his daughter. When you see mine, get out of here, bro. What you know about sleeping and living in hotels and motels for a couple years? You don't know nothing about that shit, bro. You know how much money you got to spend on that shit? Working for the school as a paraeducator, Bishop Peak Preparatory High School, you know what I'm saying? You spending your check over $500-$700 on rooms, bro. On rooms, waiting to get your housing. Before this whole shit Henry paid with the CPS stuff happened, we was on the housing list for 3 months, 3 months ahead already, and we didn't even know about it until we got to the shelter. There was the only family shelter in Lakewood. And they set us up to get that to go through all this shit. And I fucked up by opening the door to CPS. That's my fault. You see what I'm saying? And it's fucked up because my children didn't have to go through that. All five of them didn't have to go through that. And my wife ain't had to go through it. I didn't have to go through that. But there's nothing I could do about that past a certain point. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is now practice what I know I can do. The authority and power I do have. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I learned what I learned to know what I can do, what I can do, and I will do. And that's all there is to it. It's all in your root name, it's already done. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is y'all should have been ready to face that defeat. It's your reality. Because I know the Most High y'all been talking to y'all and warning y'all, and y'all ain't want to listen. I know he been showing the truth, and y'all ain't want to listen. You ain't got no choice now. You ain't got no choice. The fact that my children around y'all put you in a very dangerous position, a very dangerous position. Not because of men in the system and y'all being surveilled, because of the Most High Yah. So this is why I talk to my relatives like, don't talk to me like I'm a child. Don't talk to me like I'm stupid. You better come correct me and talk to me because you can't do half the shit that I do. You haven't and you can't. And that's real shit. So there's that. And with that, I'm gonna add some more things to this video. So you'll see things at the beginning, and you'll see things, however, maybe in the middle and maybe at the end. But we'll go from there. I hope this heals the right people. I hope this encourages somebody out there. We'll call this my digital book. We got much more, but this is what I wanted to share thus far. The next version will be ritual abuse and covens. And we'll go over to some other stuff that we have been going through in the midst of this. So yeah, I love y'all. Healing your life to people who've been going through it, who need change, who've been seeking that change, hoping for that change. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to tell your testimony, your family testimony. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. It's greater for your mental health. You need that in order for you to evolve and grow and give praise to the Most High Yahweh. Don't do nothing without him because you can't anyway. You know what I'm saying? Stay up, get out, get grounded, get melanated, feathers up. It's puffing my nuggets. Out. Okay.